Hey man, how's it going? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. I can't wait until we can do this in person again.
I know, can bring on CES, as we said. Let's do that. That's a
Bring
good
on
thing.
bring on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice to be here today.
So I guess we could kick off with talking a little bit around what responsible media is. And GroupM is really taking an aggressive stance when it comes to securing media for our clients that looks at all areas of responsibility from a delivery standpoint, a targeting standpoint, social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and really making sure that we're thinking about how the buying transaction works and workflows that are in place that really maintain trust and accountability, not just from getting the impression on the screen, but everything that goes into it as well. And making sure that when we're bringing solutions to our clients, we're working with partners that share our vision in responsible media. So Colin, what does it mean in world of Xumo to be a responsible media
Mm.
vendor?
It's a great question, and I think it's a wonderful subject. I think it's a little different take on the media world, and and thinking about what responsibility means for us is, we think about the various components of our business. We can talk about responsibility to our advertisers and the agencies that represent them. I'll talk about that in a sec. We can talk about responsibility to our commercial partners, the TV manufacturers, the device manufacturers, and the content partners that we bring into the ecosystem and sell the ads against. We can talk about responsibility to our users who use our service and who get the value from it. And then responsibility to the industry. And I think the accountability or the collaboration with other companies like us in the space to make better standards, to evolve the thinking, and to make for a better solution. And so I'm happy to just talk a little bit about each one, but I know they're very much in common with what you guys are thinking over there at GroupM too.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to think about. You've seen so much lately in the news, specifically around crypto and NFTs and the impact that that has on the environment as well. And I think there's something to that in play as well, which is like we have to look at all aspects of the ecosystem in a way that lets us really understand how we can do everything we do better, both from a trust perspective, but also through bettering the world.
Absolutely. I think there's, as you mentioned, that there's a story like when we started Xumo, and it was a little nascent service with I remember just a few dozen users on day one, and to where it is today. It started off as almost an experiment where we were doing these linear channels, and it was cool to see the charts and the data that came in on the dashboards in the morning. But fast forward to today, we are servicing millions of users, sometimes as their primary news source, or that we're the only linear channel provider that they have. And we have a responsibility now to them to make this a robust offering and to make sure that it's it's running all the time. And it was this realization has dawned over time that early experiment in this space to media companies like us is we have real accountability, to our users. And I think that's really the most important one for us is our users and how we treat them and are responsible in how we serve ads, how we treat their data in a privacy sensitive way. And I think that for me is the sort of one of the foundations of responsible media.
Yeah, it's so interesting now watching the CTV ecosystem, which has been inherently cookieless from the beginning. How marketers looked at us and said, "Oh, you can't drop cookies in a CTV device. It's not relevant to us today." Now, CTV and advanced TV more broadly are the ones leading the charge because we already know how to navigate in a privacy-safe, cookie-safe, or cookieless world.
Yeah, and I think what the lessons in a way, smart TV or CTV advertising is creating a standard, I think that all digital advertising has to live up to now. I think the fact that it is operating in a cookieless environment has very much direct bearing on how display and mobile and others work. And learning to do an effective job to get the advertisers, what they need in terms of exposure to their customers, but with respecting the fact, certainly from a technical perspective, you're restricted. But I think respecting people's user privacy is being something which I think the other parts of the industry have something to learn from as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Especially as we start to see more users gravitating toward the space and more premium programming coming to the space, making sure that we're out in front of that. Moving, talking about programmers in general, what responsibility do you have to them? How do you guys work with programming partners that you're bringing into your ecosystem to ensure not just that there's a responsibility around advertising, but that they're the premium content that they say they are, that they're not bad media sources?
Yeah, well, any commercial content partner we bring in, these are handpicked. These are companies which are completely suitable for the space in which we operate. Certainly the large media companies are a part of that, but also some emerging digital brands. And the responsibility we have for them is that we have to treat their brand as if it was our own. And for us, we are a channel, so we have 200 and something channels, 220 live channels now. And we have an obligation to them to make sure that they get the scale, get the reach, which advertisers enjoy, to use data to appropriately target users, and also to manage the ad experience to users. People go, do you like ad-supported TV? People brow furrows, I like the TV part, I'm not sure about the ads part. But this is how this industry is funded and how we bring free content to users. So we do a lot of work optimizing the ad experience and making sure that we're not overdoing the ads. We're not taking advantage of certain consumer or types of behavior to manage for not just the most amount of money we can make in the moment, but to manage it over time so that we bring users the best possible experience with a reasonable ad load, with well-targeted relevant ads, which actually everybody does enjoy. But if people talk about it quickly, they say, well, relevant ads targeting, and they go, well, it sounds like a little quick, nice, easy bullet point on the slide. But it does work better when you can serve fewer ads, which are more relevant. You can get better outcomes, more engagement, more return users, and all that. So our obligation to our content partners is that of managing this complicated ecosystem, bringing them the scale and the reach, but also managing the ad experience consumers enjoy while they're watching their channels.
Right, you talk a little bit about your content partners, but Xumo is also an operating system on devices, creating TV-like experiences for smart TVs, for CTV. And it has that the backing of Comcast in terms of its ability to go out and secure these deals. How do you guys approach, an ecosystem where a device like a Roku or a Samsung Smart TV or an LG Smart TV, they own that user data and you're powering their system? How do you approach that?
Well, just one point of clarification, we're not an operating system. That is the likes of an Android, that's the realm of that. We are a component within that operating system, particularly servicing free ad-supported TV. And some platforms make use of us entirely. We run the entire stack for them from the front end, content acquisitions and everything. And some use just maybe limited, maybe just take some of our channels. And the responsibility we have to those device manufacturers, again, is we have to operate as if we are them. You can't see this as a distant third party. If you have to have, it's a very close working relationship. You're presented to the users as part of their ecosystem. And so I think the same things which apply for content partners and how we have to service and honor them, we have to do the same for device manufacturers. And the world of data and how data is used. At the end of the day, I think consumers own their data first, and the device manufacturers and the content partners, we are a service provider to them. And so that there are some differences in how they operate, but we as a service provider have to cater to that particular need and make sure we're doing the right thing by them.
So this is a good time to pivot and talk a little bit about industry-wide challenges. We've been saying, and I know I've seen you say it, I'm sure you've seen me say it, CTV, OTT in general is one of the safest ways to be buying if you're buying it the right way. We're talking about big media companies or digital companies backed by big media companies. Who are not out there to spoof impressions, who are not out there to juice their numbers. These are trusted people that are selling media to trusted people who are buying media. However, you still see a lot of stuff in the news every couple of weeks now about a new fraud scheme being uncovered. Whether or not that is what it says it is, there's still a perception now that there's more fraud. Or at least more exposure for fraud in CTV than there was even six or 12 months ago. What are you guys doing to combat fraud?
Look, if we get into the technical side, the way CTV operates is, I want to go into VAST tags versus VPay tags and the like, but fundamentally, the way that the CTV ecosystem has to cater to advertising has made it also prone to sort of fraudulent actors. And as the space has grown from the reputable large companies in the space, it's also attracted all manner of nefarious sort of players into it as well. The solution is know who you're buying from. And I think that is very key. Have your agency, a trusted agency who can guide you. Have the tool set. There is very good tools out there to make sure you are sort of calibrating the impressions you're buying. There's a variety of sort of quality control sort of services. I'm sure you know many of them. But at the end of the day, I think it's knowing who you're buying is the most important thing as well. Is that would govern most of this. The space is enormous. The reach from companies like Comcast and Xumo in terms of unique users it can reach, and Viacom, CBS, and or HBO now with their service, they are enormous numbers of users in CTV, and unfortunately, that small group of operators shouldn't tarnish that entire industry, which is actually very exciting and very powerful for advertisers. But you do have to be aware of it. And I think having a good guide who can take you through that, I think, is incredibly important for that.
Yeah, that's something that we talk to our clients a lot about as well, which is, programmatic. A lot of clients come to us and say that they have a programmatic budget. Programmatic isn't necessarily a budget. Programmatic is a way to still be transacting from the people you want to be transacting from, going directly to the end sellers, going directly to the publishers, setting up trusted deals and running those through trusted platforms. That's how you cut down on fraudulent exposure or even inadvertent bad impressions in the ecosystem.
And the industry's come on a long way since when it started as well. I would suggest that the issues which the industry has faced are on the decline relative to the scale emerging from the robust, reputable players. And so I think, yes, both using good programmatic platforms with the right tool sets, with the right partners, and knowing who you're buying and working with the companies that you know and trust, are generally good principles. And that's just not the same for CTV. I think that's for all media, right? I think that's that principle holds true for all.
Yeah, and also getting every touch point, every transaction point involved in it. It can't just be us as the buyer and you as the seller. We need the DSPs to have security in place. We need the SSPs to better vet people who come into their platform and into their ecosystem. There are tools, there are solutions that work on the tech side, but there is a human element of it as well that we need to think about.
Of course, yeah. So I think again, this industry's moved on enormously, from where it started, and I expect it to grow even further. I think the free services. Everybody's looking at the SVODs and the competition, the war of the monsters, of the big guys competing against each other. I think the free ad-supported TV and services with a free component are the growth areas. And I think there's even greater scale, both here in the US and around the world, is sort of emerging from this space.
So we have a couple minutes left. What's new with Xumo? How have you guys grown during the pandemic? What are some of the things that's on your roadmap, both from a content and programming perspective, but also an advertising innovation perspective?
Well, we closed our acquisition by Comcast 3 weeks before we were all sent home for the pandemic. And to say it was an up and down time of our lives is an understatement. And I think year one the growth has been enormous. The TV consumers have been looking for something new and different, to watch, something easy, something well presented, high quality, but doesn't take a lot of time to sort of think about what you want to watch. And Xumo has done incredibly well through that time. But however, we are now very much focused, and we have done some very good things together with Comcast, the Flex platform, with their X1 boxes, have greater integrations with them. And the next journey for us is now integrating even closer together with the Comcast company business, which has got enormous resources. It's a large company, and we're very encouraged by the future in front of us in terms of as we start to bring all of that sort of muscle to bear in this space. We're going to see, I think, very exciting things to come. And so we're very enthusiastic about the time ahead. I think we've been given a we've earned a place in people's living room during the pandemic, but now we have to show that we can continue to provide them to and earn that time and be this, continue to innovate and bring new things and new content and new types of service to bear for our consumers that we've earned during the pandemic.
Great. So thank you for the time today. It was great talking to you. I'm glad that, you know, we had this ability to have this conversation, and then also to have you guys so aligned with GroupM on where we're going with responsible media, trust and transparency throughout the supply chain.
Agreed. And we enjoy our partnership. And I think there's some exciting work that we're doing together, I know. And very pleased also to BTV for hosting the event too. Always nice to be thought of by you guys as we journey together. So thank you very much.
Thank you.